Welcome to an exciting business presentation for Emris International. This is specifically for the countries of Nigeria and Ghana. It's my pleasure to introduce you to someone who's really responsible for helping us open up these two incredible nations of people to Emris International, someone who has a vast experience in networking. He just got back from a trip. Some of you listening to the recording might have met him, someone who's obviously very near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. You'll know his character when you get to meet him, someone who actually goes out of his way. He's one of the hardest working people that I know in the networking industry. He has an actual background as an electrical engineer, but he saw the vision of the networking model and has made his career there ever since. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the one and only Mr. Lewis Miller.
Thank you so much, Mr. John Reed. I appreciate you, sir. It's a pleasure and honor for me to be here as well this evening. Again, my name is Lewis Miller. I have the pleasure right now to introducing a very good friend of mine, also my mentor. She's a top leader here at Emris International. She is the CEO and founder of Public Speaking Association here in the US and also on the international market as well. She travels the world, helping people to speak on stage in front of hundreds, thousands of people. She just got an award as well. She just did a travel all over the Europe. So she's a great, great friend again of mine and a mentor. So without further ado, Miss Tanya Hoffman, are you there?
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. I look forward to getting to know you and everybody else. Lewis and JR are not only incredible partners, because it really does take a team to be part of an incredible opportunity like this. And so when I even find, and not just the opportunity, but the right people, the right team, like Mr. Lewis, who I'm just blown away with, who's so humble and hardworking. And then you get to my mentor, Johnny Reed, we call him JR. And JR is one of those types of people that have not only gone out there and done incredibly well, not only with Emris, but with other teams and other organizations over and over and over again, but has also helped people, really achieve their dreams. And that's why I'm so committed and so awed to be a part of the Emris Dream Team. So without further ado, Mr. Johnny Reed.
Well, thanks, Tanya, and welcome, everyone. We're going to be talking about something that's very near and dear to my heart because one of the mottos of the company is building an undying legacy, and that's very special to me because, living in two different worlds, one in Thailand, one in the United States, I've got to see the fruits of this industry where, if you're with a good company, there's no greater business to be in other than the home-based business model because your dreams absolutely can come true. And so that's what we're here today to talk about is a business model that can absolutely set you free. So as we get started here today, it's been about 8 or 9 months or so that Emris International actually pre-launched here in the United States of America. And at the same time, we launched in South Africa, which is very rare and very unique. But now we're to the point where we're getting ready to open 2 new countries. And we have, of course, Mr. Lewis Miller to thank for that because he has vast contacts as he's already visited the continent of Africa a couple times. And so he's brought some amazing leaders, lawyers, pharmacists, bishops, pastors, just incredible people that he's brought to the table. And of course, he just got back from visiting both Nigeria and Ghana with one of our co-founders, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. So here we're going to be talking about really the process of free enrollment to lock your position in, because we're just moments away from opening Ghana, and then Nigeria is going to be shortly thereafter. So if you're listening to this recording, this is a great way to kind of let people in on what's going on as far as the expansion of the company. Before we begin, we've got to also cover what we call an income disclaimer to make sure that the people understand that there's no guarantees about the potential income we're going to be talking about here. It's going to be dependent on our work ethic, our skills, our leadership capabilities, because some people, regardless, won't make any money. And then we've already seen people do incredibly well in the company. So with that said, we're going to begin our business model. Now, the first thing we want to remind people, and I got this same kind of information 30 years ago, and that's when my career started in the home-based business, was in the year 1989. That just makes me feel old when I say that out loud. But there was an incredible book a couple years down the road after I got started my career called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And this is just an amazing book. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I would encourage you to get a copy, because he kind of lays out the different ways people can make money. And of course, you see to the right here on the screen that 95% of the people belong to what he calls the E and the S quadrant, which stands for employee or self-employed. And this is where you trade time for money. Well, what do I mean by that? Or what does he mean by that? It means if you stop working, so does your money, right? So if you don't show up for work, you don't show up for the business can't create any revenue. Where 5% of the people do the B or the I quadrant, which is a business owner, where they build vast networks of people, or like a radio station or a TV station, they build vast networks, and regardless if they show up or not, money still flows. And of course, the I quadrant is people that have their money working for them. Now, sadly, only 5% of the people in the world actually participate in these two quadrants, yet they control 97% of the money. So today we're going to be talking about a business opportunity in the B quadrant. A lot of people have asked me, at least personally, over the years, or actually over the decades, is networking a big business model? And of course, the facts are undisputable. So since 2009, over $1.5 trillion have been generated in sales in the networking arena. That means over $600 billion in commission, US dollars, have been paid out. Every year is a record year in the networking industry, right? It keeps growing. I remember when I started, there was only about 20 million people in the industry. Now there's 116 million people in the networking arena. So in the end of 2018, there was over $192 billion generated, 76 billion in commission. That translates to about $200 million a day in commission that gets paid out. Now, to convert that into Naira for the Nigerians, that's 72 trillion a day being paid in commission. And then of course, if we're looking at Ghana, where their currencies is cedis, it's about 1.1 billion a day. So let's talk a little bit about Emris International, right? Being a debt-free company that's privately held, there's 4 co-founders. It's a ground floor opportunity, especially when we're talking about Nigeria and Ghana. There are global operations both in America and Africa. And we have premium lifestyle products and world-class leadership. Now, Tanya, I know that you've had multiple conversations and visited, and actually on a personal basis, met with the CEO of Emris International, Ms. Aspen Emery. What can you tell the people listening here today a little bit about her?
Well, whenever you look for a CEO, you want not only just incredible insight and view of the actual industry itself, which she has, but you also want the personality that can move this forward. And so when I sat down with her, we had coffee, and she had everything that I was looking for. Someone that is dynamic, has gone through the trenches, has understood where it is to be, a brand ambassador and start from zero and then build a huge organization. So it's very exciting to be part of her team.
Now, Mr. Miller, I know that you've obviously had multiple private meetings with Mr. Harris and actually traveled halfway around the world with him when you just visited both Nigeria and Ghana. What can you talk about Mr. Matthew Harris and his wife, Eileen?
Oh, that's a great question there, Johnny. The humility that they have, the humbleness, the integrity, the professionalism at the same time, very humble at the same time. They're very great people to be around. They have a vision that we have caught on to from here with Emris Dream Team ourselves here, that it's unbelievable the amount of integrity that they have and their vision for Africa at large and for humanity anyways. They love serving people. That's what they're all about.
Yeah, I love the fact that Mr. Harris was born in the United States, but at the age of 4, he was actually brought back to the homeland, so to speak. His mother's from South Africa, and that's where he spent his entire childhood until he became an adult. Came back to America and, of course, accomplished the American dream, anybody's dream of financial independence. And now he wants to give back to the country of Africa, which is so near and dear to his heart. So as we go into the gist of, or the specifics of our business opportunity, we want to talk about what are the products we're going to be bringing over to Ghana and Nigeria. And there's going to be done in phases, right? Because here in America, we've got well over a dozen different products, but we don't want to just show up with a whole bunch of stuff and get people confused. So we're going to start with our two most dynamic industries that we're participating in. One is the hemp derived CBD marketplace, if you will, or space. And that's projected to be 22 billion by 2022. And we're already in 2020. So that's a very short period of time to have that type of a product growth. And we'll talk about that more in just a second. And then the second is in the weight management arena, which is expected to be a $253 billion industry by 2024. And then we're going to have Ms. Hoffman talk about one of her most exciting things to talk about, which is the skincare market, which of course ours is infused with the CBD product itself. And so that is estimated to be $180 billion in the next handful of years. So let's talk a little bit about, right, our flagship product, which is this in the CBD space. Now, we're going to be talking about full spectrum CBD, right, hemp oil. And as you can see here from the screen, according to the Brightfield Group, 22 billion by the year 2022. And so, why is that possible? Because that's the fastest growing segment of health and wellness, which is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Well, when you really start to understand that hemp is not marijuana and marijuana is not hemp, they're cousins, which was my confusion not too long ago. Then I started doing my research, and of course I got some more information. Then I started to understand that, full spectrum can help relieve pain, right? Relieves anxiety. It's an antidepressant. It helps with antidepression, reduces vascular tension, antioxidant. I mean, improves sleep, reduces inflammation. I mean, there's just so many things that it can do for the body. It's just an amazing product, right? And so, not to try to get people too bogged down in a science lesson, each mammal, or every mammal, I should say, has an endocannabinoid system. And when you feed the body CBD, it goes into one of two receptors, CB1 and CB2. And so, like I said, instead of giving, all the facts, which sometimes confuses people, I love to hear testimonials from people. So I know myself personally, I sleep like I've never slept before, at least thinking all the way back into at least my 20s, and I'm in my upper 50s now. I know, Tanya, you've had some challenges in your family and it's done amazing things. But Louis, you've had one of the most amazing testimonials, right, when it comes to this product. Can you share with the people your experience by taking the product from Emris International?
Oh, absolutely, JR. This product has helped me tremendously. Right as we're making this recording right now, Jen, I'm able to actually sit up straight, which I haven't been able to do for over 20 years. And as you know, you introduced me to this product in October. And I told you in person that I wasn't into this because I didn't understand it. And when you went through everything with me and showed me what it was all about, I decided to try the product. I ordered the product and it came on the 11th of October. Well, let me just backtrack a little bit what really happened to me and why I had to try this product when you introduced it to me, Johnny. At the age of about 9 or 10, I was playing in the rain. I was born and raised in Jamaica, actually. So, kids like to play in the rain. And I was there playing in the rain, just innocent as ever. And I stepped on a slippery spot, and of course I fell backwards. And when I went down, I hit a rock. Right, the rock hit me right in the middle of my lower back. And from then, my parents didn't thought it was anything that much. They came and got me. Of course, I couldn't speak when I first got hit. I was howling, trying to, call for help, and they finally came and got me. But they said to me, "You'll be okay. You're all right." And then they took it for nothing. So as I started getting older, at the age of, say, 16, I realized I started developing some serious back issues. So they took me to this doctor. I remember her name was Dr. Shirley Campbell. And she said, "Why is it that you're having so much pain in your back for a young man?" So I told her my story. So she went ahead and did the x-ray on my back. And she came back and said to me, "Mr. Miller, there's nothing we can really do for you. You have a bent spine." I'm like, wow. So I developed this issue, wouldn't go away. I've been to chiropractors in New York City. I've been to regular medical doctors, to masseuse, and my problem never seemed to go away. But lo and behold, when they introduced me to this on the 11th of October, of 2019. And the first time I took that product, it was a Friday night, I can remember. And when I got up the morning and I said to my wife, baby, I had the best sleep I've had in over 20 years. She said to me, no, that's not true. It's all in your mind. I said, okay, no worries. But of course, she knows that I always, when I'm driving because of my back issue also, what made her really wanted to try the product as well is I was driving around town one day with her and she says, honey, why is it you don't have your seat all the way back anymore? Your seat is all propped up. I said, it's the CBD. Energy. And she's like, what? Are you serious? I got to try this because, of course, you know, we have two kids. Our first child, our daughter, before she was born, she never really moved around in the stomach as much. And I know a lot of women can attest to this. She ended up with the issue of sciatic problem. My daughter sat on her sciatic nerves and she had that problem for the longest ever since she had her daughter. My daughter is 15 years old now. So she tried the product, Johnny. And from then she was a believer. She can't do this product anymore. So it's a blessing. And I thank you very much also for letting me know about Synergy from Emris International.
It's a great segue, Mr. Miller. We appreciate you sharing your personal testimonial there. Now, I consider this like the Rolls Royce of CBD, right? I like to keep things simple, like being in Thailand, I would say the gold standard of CBD. Now, unlike isolated products, you know, the cheaper versions, and you can see, you know, there's different qualities of products. They're not all the same. And so this is one of the rare exceptions where the company took the time, spent the money to make an affordable product, but make the best product, right? So you can see from the screen here, GMO-free, kosher certified, you know, THC-free, made in the U.S., all the bells and whistles that go along. But that one thing I just said, THC-free, that is the most important one in my personal humble opinion, because our synergy comes in multiple strengths, because obviously some people have a little elements and some people have a lot. So it just depends on what's going on with the individual to determine which product is going to be best for them. But all of the products are pretty much made the same except for the strength or the potency of the product. THC free. Now THC, if you're not aware, that's the drug that gets you high, right? And so that's the real main difference between like marijuana, which is illegal in most places, and then hemp, right? Marijuana is high in THC, low in CBD, where hemp is high in CBD, low in THC. Well, we make sure that when we manufacture the product, there's absolutely no traceable amounts of THC whatsoever, even though some companies claim that it's THC free. And even if there's a minute amount in the product, if you take it on a consistent basis, it does build up in your system and you would fail a blood test. Here, you don't have to worry with the Synergy by Emris International. Now, how they grow the hemp is really the most important thing. So here we understand that it's organically grown in the United States. It is broad spectrum, which means they're adding more important things like terpenes and the cannabinoids into the product to cause what we should refer to as the entourage effect. And it's why we have so many amazing testimonials. Now, we test the product 3 times at the plant phase to make sure it's free of solvents, pesticides, minerals, any unnatural substances. And then we make sure to back up our claims by bringing in a third-party company to test our product to make sure everything is above board. And then we go one step further and do a supercritical CO2 extraction. Now, to you and me, if you're just an average person, which I know I am, a lot of this didn't make any sense, but I was very impressed when I was introducing this to like pharmacists and people who really understand what these terms mean, and they were very impressed. I know, Louis, you had gotten some of the main people, especially in Nigeria, like the CEO of the pharmaceutical industry, and you met with pharmacists and different doctors, and they were also impressed with the quality of the product. And of course, finally, it's manufactured in an FDA registered in an ICO certified facility. Incredibly important issues to people that are really concentrating on making sure they put good things in their body, especially when it comes to our health, right? So in the second phase, when we roll this out, you're going to see the same exact product, but in smaller quantities, so it becomes more affordable for the price when it comes to marketing, right? So each of the bigger bottles that we just showed are like a month's supply, right? Approximately a month's supply. These are much smaller, even though there's nothing here to show the difference there. They're much smaller bottles and they last about a week. So it's great to be able to, market these by, having a lower price point, or even sometimes just giving away free, and somebody can test out the product so you don't have to recite, the actual things that go in the involved in the product, which to me in the networking world is very important, right? Samples are absolutely vital for people to be able to build their business. Now, switching gears, we have a product called Renew, and this is going like gangbusters in South Africa, where you may or may not know there's an obesity problem. So this is a weight management. So, you know, covering some of the bullet points here, it's a gentle cleanse for the body, right? So it's boosting metabolism. It's an appetite suppressant, right? It detoxifies the body, reduces the bloating, you know, boosts digestion, and most importantly, money back guaranteed, made here in the good old USA and also in an FDA registered facility. Now we have, in my humble opinion, the easiest way to market a product like this is simply show and tell, right? Do the before and after pictures. So we can see here a couple people took some pictures after 10 days and after a month of being on the product, and you can see dramatic results. So, you know, anyone can transform their health in as little as 90 days or less. And so this is an incredible product, considering that the industry is going to be well over $250 billion here in a couple of years. And then Ms. Hoffman, I know this is near and dear to your heart. And so Eden is a skincare line by Emris International that is infused with the nanoparticles of CBD. What can you tell the people listening here today about the Eden product line?
As a woman who's 52 years old, I use a lot of items for, you know, my skin to help me look younger. And I'm skeptical about all kinds of skincare products. So when I tried it, I was hopeful, but then I tried it and it was incredible. I was blown away by the results. My wrinkles are going away. The skin issues, you know, you've got different different colorizations and things like that. It just get all away and my skin looks so much healthier.
You know, and what I love about this is because it's infused with the CBD nanoparticles. It's not just a chance to look better, you actually get to feel better too. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. And of course, if you're conscious about what you're putting on your skin, which of course is the largest organ of your body, right? Again, this is organic, it's vegan, it's cruelty-free, it's mineral-free, mineral oil-free, and of course, synthetic fragrance-free. So again, such a quality product, does amazing things on the outside, but also helps on the inside. That leads us to the second part of our presentation, which is really the business opportunity. So what if you compare these incredible products with an opportunity to build a business in the B quadrant, right? So that's the most exciting thing, instead of trying to get involved in something that can pay little or no money, right? Which is what most businesses do. If you're a sole proprietor or you're working for somebody, if you're in the B quadrant, as we talked about earlier in our presentation, you have a chance, right, to go after some really larger goals, right? And so with the Emris Dream Plan, that's what we call our compensation plan, we have 10 different ways or 10 different revenue streams that can be generated from this business opportunity. Now, 1 through 4, which we'll briefly go over, is about how we get customers to get involved and what's in it for them and us. And then 5, 6, and 7 is when we build a team. Of course, the 3 of us we consider ourselves the dream team, and that is just a fraction of the incredible people that belong to the dream team now, that we're just about to embark on 2 brand new, beautiful countries that are just full of exciting people who have built huge organizations in the past, right? The leadership there. And then 8, 9, and 10 are special bonuses, bonus pools, if you will, and incentive trips. So quickly now, if we talk about the retail aspect, if we're selling a product either from a website or in person, there's a 20% markup, so we can receive 20% commission from a person who wants to buy a product. If a customer, though, wants to get our price as brand ambassadors, they can do so without becoming part of the company. We call those VIP customers. So if they pay at one time per life, $9.97, and that rounds to approximately 3,600 Naira or 56 CDs. Of course, I'm just rounding here. That's just one time for life. They get a 20% discount on any of the products they want to purchase. And then as we acquire more of VIP customers, then we kick into what we call a VIP power bonus, which can kick our residual income all the way up to 25%. So for people that, you know, like a pharmacist or a doctor or somebody that wants to retail a lot, it's a great way to earn some passive residual income, which means do the work once, get paid over and over again. And then we have a global bonus pool for people who acquire a handful of customers, so they can tap into a percentage of all the customers that are being acquired around the world by Emris International. Now, my favorite part of the program starts at number 5, which is the fast start bonuses leading into the heart of our compensation plan. So fast start bonuses are designed that when we want to start with Emris International and be like a brand ambassador and start promoting the products, as we encourage other people to join us in our business, there's a bonus that gets paid on a weekly basis. So when we sponsor someone, they get to pick a package that has products so they can get started in their business. And then this is just, of course, a brief overview, and we're not finalized on this, but we know that there'll be at least a $50 or $100 bonus depending on which package that person wants to go with. And then, of course, that translates either into 18,000 or 36,000, I'm rounding again, Naira, or 284 or 567 CDs. So as we encourage other people to get started, there's a little bit of a treat, if you will, the next week for the time and effort that we did a presentation with these people. But the heart of our compensation program is number 6. And this is very exciting to talk about. So this is what is called a binary hybrid. Now, if you don't know what a binary is, don't worry. It just means 2. So in order to qualify for residual income of building a team, we simply have to put one person on the left and one person on the right, and we'll get our first promotion, right? And then we'll be qualified for retail profit, VIP customer bonuses, fast start bonuses, and the customer bonus pool, as well as team bonus commissions, which start at 8%, go all the way to 15%. Now that's a mouthful, right? So simply put, when we put a couple people into the system, one on the left, one on the right, we can qualify for residual income. Now, as we power down our team, right, and we help our team grow, right, these bonuses can increase over time as we rank up. And so we can see over here to the right, there's different titles as the team hits a certain production mark per week. Now, unlike MLM where they count by levels, we're simply counting all the production on our left side, all the production on our right side, and we're getting paid a percentage of the weaker side. Now, that can go all the way to 75,000 US dollars per week. Now, that translates over 27 million Naira, or over 425,000 CDs per week. So I think you'd agree with me, that's a very strong business model to be able to go after, right? So that can accomplish our financial dreams. Because remember, these commissions get paid on a weekly basis. So as we learn how to build a business with Emris International, we start by earning anywhere between 72,500 Naira in a given week, or 1,134 CDs. But then remember, that can go into the many millions in Naira or hundreds of thousands in CDs per week. We don't stop there. We have what we call generational check match. So after a couple promotions, we can start matching upwards of 20% of 3 generation with compression of people's binary incomes coming from our personally sponsored people and 2 of their generations of their people. Very exciting. So there's no limitation here in the generational check match. So this can do great things for your income as far as increasing it. Now, 8 and 9 are called bonus pools. One is at the director level. That's about halfway up in the compensation. The vice president's close to the top. And here you would be getting shares, kind of like profit sharing would be in a company. You're going to get shares and then take a pool of income that the company is setting aside, and then we get to get a percentage of that each and every time they're paying out one of these bonus pools. Now, the company's going to be offering, as it's already started, different incentives. We got a contest going on now called the 180 Challenge, where they're giving out 7,000 US dollars in prizes. In the future, they've already talked about adding special trips and, iPhones and iPads and things of that nature. But the first person to reach vice president in the company is going to win a brand new Mercedes-Benz. Now, remember, this is just the beginning of the company's generosity to reward the leaders who help build the business. So I think you can see there's just a ton of ways to make money in Emris International. They have all kinds of incentives. And then finally, for the leaders that build it big, right, they have global trip incentives, and they're putting people on cruises, sending them to different destinations. They cover the airfare, the accommodations, all expenses paid. So once again, just another great way to say thank you for a job well done. And then as we conclude here in our overview, remember now, we're just talking about Nigeria and Ghana doing most of this overview, and right now we're just in a pre-launch, so we're just letting people sign up and lock in a free position. And then when we start each of these countries, you'll have about a week to go ahead and put your order in. so you can get started. So we have 2 kits. Again, these are just proposed, or don't write that in stone, but it'll be what we call an income builder kit, where there'll be a handful of products in there for approximately 72,000 Naira, or 1,100 CDs. And then there's a legacy builder kit, which obviously is going to offer more products. Now, each of these packages include all the websites and all the things you need to help build your business on or offline. And then it comes with the bonuses as well as the product. Now, the legacy builder kit is something very special that's going on as we launch these countries, is we've got something called the Founder Partners Program. And so for the people that do the legacy builder kit or higher, because we're talking about adding a third package, then the people will actually have bragging rights, right? You're going to have website recognition. We've got a magazine coming out, so you'll be in the magazine. You'll have special limited edition pen, right, which is shown here on the screen. And then special seating and recognition at events, right? You'll be able to have some quality time with the owners, and then the ability to earn a place in the company's opportunity presentation and material. So again, a lot of bragging rights. You can go out and say, hey, look, I belong to a company. I'm a founding partner. It's just so much easier to build a business when you have that extra credibility when you're telling your story. So again, that's just an added incentive for the people that are going to get started at the legacy builder level. Remember, this is only going to be reserved for the first 2,000 founding partners. We've already done this for South Africa, and those positions went really quick. We also did it for the United States of America, and those positions went even faster. So again, it's just offered to a handful of people to get started. Now remember, when networking companies, the successful ones, get going, you know, the organizations get into the hundreds of thousands of people. Some companies go all the way to 1 million. I worked with a gentleman for 13 years who was the world record holder, who built over 1 million people in a little over a year. That was before the age of the internet. So just the first handful of people getting involved in the company will have the bragging rights for a lifetime. And that leads us to the end of our presentation, and there's always 3 kinds of people. The first person said, this is not for me, and we appreciate your time. The second person says, wow, that CBD product, I've been hearing about that. I'd like to try that. Or, you know, hey, I got a couple pesky pounds I'd like to try to get rid of. You might want to be a customer. The person that invited you to listen in will simply send you a link when we're live and kicking in Nigeria and Ghana, and you can sign up and get your products, and they'll be delivered to your doorstep. And the third person sees the opportunity, right? They say, wow, this is incredible. You mean I can actually be a founding member, help launch my country, and then take the rest of the opportunity around the rest of Africa and eventually the world? You know, that's for me. What do I got to do? So if you find yourself in that third category, there's just 3 simple steps to build your Emris business. Now, this website that we see here, this emrisdreamteam.com, that is not a company website. That is a website that me and my partners put together for educational purposes. So there's a lot of tutorials, a lot of videos to show you how to actually fill out a form, how to do things that sometimes might be a little frustrating. We've made it incredibly simple. So you simply sign up online, right, to lock in your free position. Again, there's an instructional video there. You simply have the ability to download a couple of videos that you can just put right into your phone. We'll even show you what to put in the text messaging, and simply start texting people out. And then we do these type of opportunities several times a week. And then we offer training each and every week free of charge to help you build your Emris international business. So now's the time to make that decision. If you do see an opportunity, remember, you're just going to lock in a free position today. And remember, Ghana is just a heartbeat away from being live and shipping product, and then be able to pay commissions. And then Nigeria will be shortly thereafter. So with that said, I'd like to thank my partners, Ms. Tanya Hoffman and Mr. Lewis Miller, who without his guidance, wisdom, and contacts, we wouldn't be able to talk about this amazing journey that we're about to embark with both Nigeria and Ghana. And then, of course, Ms. Hoffman is just an incredible coach and leader, and they will always be available for private webinars and conference calls on WhatsApp and things of that nature, as well as yours truly. So with that said, we wish you all the success in the world. Until next time, God bless.